All right, we've all seen them on most social media sites, especially on LinkedIn. The jobs you might be interested in section. Now, if you are happily employed, sometimes you might just scroll past that, but experts say not so fast. Turns out there are several reasons why you should look for a job, even if you like the job you currently have. Joining me this morning, once again, one of our favorites, workplace psychologist, Dr. Mimi Hull. Always good to see you. Appreciate you coming in today. Now, let's start with just in a nutshell. If you like your job, why do you think you should be looking for a job at that point?
You know, it actually can improve what you're already doing on the job, and also when you already have a job, you can start to be comfortable looking for things, seeing what's out there, looking at what qualifications are being desired, and starting to look at how can I improve myself in case I should have to look for a job.
I would also, it could also reinforce your decision why you like your job, because grass is always greener. You talk to people in other industries and they're like, this job stinks. You got this and this and this, and then you think, hey, it's not so bad where I am right now.
And that's really true. A lot of times what happens, we're applying for a job and the same person is applying for our job.
That's so funny. It happens all the time. Okay, you have 4 tips here when looking for a job, even though you like the one you have. You say, number 1, it's always better to look for a job when you have one. So we'll go back into that. I guess the pressure's off too, because you think, I already have a paycheck here.
Exactly, and you're more desirable. Plus the fact you have your network of people, you're working, you're mixing with people, you're seeing different people. When you don't have a job, a lot of times what happens is people tend to hide, they're embarrassed, and so as a result, it's out of sight, out of mind. When you have a job, you're mixing with people.
It's funny you say that. It reminds me of the old dating thing that people always talked about. It seems like more people like you when you have a boyfriend or girlfriend than if you're that desperate single guy that goes up and approaches everybody. So I guess same thing in a job hunt, huh?
Exactly. It's a matchup situation.
More desirable when you have a job. Okay, number 2 here, you'll start to realize what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Explain that one a little bit more.
And that's really true. As you start to look for different jobs, you'll start to say, okay, I like this part of the job, I don't like this part of the job. When we look at it from afar, what oftentimes happens, we only see the good things. You know, again, as you mentioned, the grass is always greener. When you actually go to look for the job, you start to recognize what are the benefits that you currently have. Maybe it's a job out of town, and all of a sudden you realize that, hey, living in Orlando is a great place.
All right, number 3 here, gives you professional development goals, competence. What do you mean there?
As you start to look for a job, you'll start to see what are the qualifications that people are wanting, and as a result, you can start to set your professional goals, get the training that you need, get the opportunities within your own job, maybe do some job sharing. So start to develop who you are so that you can, when you really want to change a job, have those qualifications and be ready.
And the 4th point you have here, it's going to give you job hunting experience, a little confidence. I guess it's good to get it while you have a job as opposed to trying to go through the ropes when you don't have a paycheck.
Exactly, and you never know when you're going to need to have a job. I oftentimes say you don't know when your job is going to be eliminated, or the boss's nephew needs a job and they look at yours. So as a result, you're going to get some confidence in saying, okay, I know how to look for this job. I know what to look for. I've done this. I've been there. I'm comfortable with it. And so as a result, you're much more desirable.
I'm curious what you think about this. Past couple of days, I had some time off. Wasn't feeling so well. I read Success Magazine, the new one that came out, and the line was something along the lines of, if you have the same problem at every job, the problem is not the job. The problem's you.
It is.
People bring the same drama no matter where they go, no matter what the job. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that. You have to look in the mirror and say, okay, what am I doing? Why is it that every job that I have seems to be a difficult one? Every boss that I have seems to be difficult. It's oftentimes you.
The boss is always the jerk. The coworkers are always a jerk. At some point, you got to realize maybe it's you who are the jerk.
I could be the common factor.
All right. Always good to see you. Do appreciate it. Always great stuff. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
What's your website in case people want to check you out?
It's hullonline.com. HULLONLINE.com.
Great resources. Dr. Mimi Hull, thanks so much. Amy, over to you.